Well, Rosie O'Donnell's disgusting. I mean, both inside and out. She's a slob. Rosie is a loser. She's basically a disaster. Look her right in that fat, ugly face of hers. I'd say, Rosie, you're fired.
You've called women you don't like fat pigs, dogs, slobs, and disgusting animals.
Only Rosie O'Donnell.
Donald Trump versus Rosie O'Donnell. Live!
Think about the publicity. Think about
the television ratings.
With the second straight publicity stunt match planned for tonight following the Cena vs. Federline angle last Monday, targeted in addition to potentially pop a rating on the night to start the build to the headline program of the WrestleMania 23 pay-per-view in 3 months, with the entire planned direction to the top of the card of the event re-evaluated in the last 24 hours following the news on the severity of the Triple H injury suffered last night that is set to take him out of the ring for the next 6 months. Kicking off Raw for the second straight week with Cena coming out for the follow-up promo after going over Umaga in the New Year's Revolution pay-per-view to end his undefeated streak, and after last Monday the hyped Cena vs. Federline match placed in the opening quarter saw it drawing a several-month high 4.1 rating. Raw's opening segment with the Cena promo dropped to a more routine number with a 3.7 opening quarter rating, putting over Umaga throughout to build him up for a rematch. With the layout of the match last night saw him completely dominating until the roll-up finish to end his unbeaten run, interrupted by Coach to reveal Khali as the new member of the Raw brand to set up the main event for tonight with Cena vs. Khali in his first televised match on Raw, and with last Monday seeing Raw jumping to a 3.9 rating in its highest rated broadcast since the day after SummerSlam on August 21st. 4 days later, SmackDown headed by a beat-the-clock series of matches for a shot at Batista's world title for the Rumble pay-per-view, spiking big to the brand's highest-rated and most-watched program in nearly a year, drawing a 3 rating with 4.7 million viewers and its highest viewership total since February 2006 and the highest ever on the CW network since the show moved from its original home of UPN last September. With the company on the back of the increase on both brands sending out a press release days later on the strong start to 2007 noting that Raw was the #1 primetime cable program during the week of January 1st among households' total viewers and the key demographics, while SmackDown was the #1 primetime program on television Friday night in several key demos including some of its highest totals since mid-2005. Combining with the 5 million viewers on Raw and 4.7 million on SmackDown to the most watched week of WWE television in over 5 months, with Raw after the Cena-Khali opening segment followed by Vince setting the stage to hype the crossover match coming up, seeing Hardy vs. Kenny going 9 minutes for the IC title with Flair interfering for the finish to cost Kenny the match, averaging a 3.6 rating with 4.9 million viewers for the full hour, which despite dropping from the 3.9 rating of last Monday, due to more viewers per home only dropping slightly in viewership from 5 million to 4.9. After sarcastically hyping the match earlier as an all-time industry-changing clash on the level of Bruno vs. Graham, Hogan vs. Andre and The Rock vs. Austin, Vince McMahon walked out at 9:56 p.m. for the introduction to the Trump-Rosie match in time for it to start at the top of the hour, with Vince after booking the match during last night's pay-per-view by openly acknowledging it as a publicity stunt to spike a rating, with the back-and-forth shots between Trump and O'Donnell taking over the mainstream media headlines in the past 2 weeks, using it to also set the stage for the upcoming major crossover angle for WrestleMania 23, with Trump and McMahon reaching a deal to culminate on the pay-per-view to both boost the WWE's pay-per-view and viewership on the way to the event with the expected massive mainstream exposure, while also cross-promoting the upcoming new season of Trump's Apprentice reality series with both NBC and USA Network under the same Universal umbrella. With the hyped Trump vs. Rosie match, which saw the two impersonators going over 5 minutes of ring time, ending up as a unique spectacle for different reasons than originally planned, with the crowd turning on the match almost instantly, including a unique situation of an audible TNA chant on the live Raw broadcast with Vince McMahon sitting at ringside, And with Vince targeting a big rating jump for the stunt, the match placed over most of the 10 to 10:15 p.m. quarter and the second highest profile segment of the night, only picking up slightly with 150,000 viewers to draw right at the show's average with a 3.7 rating, with hopes that the real deal would end up with stronger results when the program kicks off in the next several weeks. With the announcement of Triple H tearing his quad at the final minutes of the DX vs Edge and Orton match last night in an almost identical injury to the one suffered 6 years ago during the Austin and Hunter vs Benoit and Jericho tag match in May 2001, Hunter, who is scheduled to undergo knee surgery on Tuesday at the same doctor, is set to be officially ruled out for the next 4 to 6 months, canceling the originally planned Hunter vs Cena WrestleMania rematch talked about for most of the past year, leading to major speculation on the new placement for the top players on the card, with both Undertaker and Batista, similar to Hunter and Cena, kept apart for the past year with the WrestleMania 23 match in mind, starting rumors on major names returning on short notice, along with either Michaels taking Hunter's place in the match or one of Taker and Batista potentially jumping to Raw to face Cena for the title, with Rated RKO after taking a violent beatdown for the finish of the tag match coming out for the follow-up promo midway through the second hour, saying that they might have lost the match but overall won the war with them as promised, ending DX's run, hyping the final nail for next Monday with them looking to take out Shawn Michaels, with Edge and Orton booked for a handicap match against Michaels to headline Raw, bringing out Michaels with the DX music acknowledging Hunter's surgery tomorrow, with the question if it's the end of the DX reunion run, building up the Michaels vs Rated RKO main event to end the promo with the 12-minute segment going over 2 quarters, peaking the night with 2 straight 3.8 ratings between 10:15 to 45 p.m. with over 5.2 million viewers. Raw's final quarter, which started with 2 short backstage skits between 2 commercial breaks in a short span, followed by the entrances and start of the Khali vs Cena match promoted throughout the show as the first match between them and Khali's first ever match on Raw, saw it taking a hit to drop to a show low 3.5 rating, before picking up over 800,000 viewers over the next 5 minutes to peak at a 4.1 rating in the 3-minute overrun, seeing the Cena-Khali match going 2 minutes with Khali dominating throughout to build him up strong on his Raw debut, with him targeted along with Big Show as one of Hulk Hogan's potential opponents for WrestleMania 23 to recreate the famous Hogan vs Andre body slam spot 20 years from the match, ending up with Umaga making his first appearance on the night past 11 p.m. to lay out Cena in the build to their pay-per-view rematch at the Rumble in 3 weeks. With Raw going against heavy sports competition on the night, largely maintaining last Monday's viewership at the 5 million viewers range, with the usual big January boost expected next week with the first unopposed Monday of 2007.